It is Henry Bryant with Boxing on Tap. I'm joined by Nisse. So first of all, mate, it's coming up to Christmas, and we've got a little bit of an early present for the Brighton fans. They've got Harlem Eubank down here at the Brighton Centre on Friday against someone that is trying to really contend, and I've just spoken to him and he seems really up for this. So yeah, how's things been for you, and what are we expecting this Friday?
Look, firstly, I'd like to say that it's so nice that we've built a little bit of a hub here in Brighton, the Brighton Centre again, and it's nice to see everyone turn out for Harlem. I do think, this is probably the most important fight in his career, just for the fact that he's coming off that defeat to Jack Catterall, where both of them looked terrible because the styles just didn't match. It just didn't gel. Both of them very on the back foot. I think Friday will give a chance to Harlem to come out and be more like the McKenna fight, where the boxing fans are very fickle and they forget about the McKenna fight, but they remember the Catterall fight. So you're only as good as your last fight, or as exciting as your last fight. So I think Friday's the perfect opportunity for Harlem to come out and against a very aggressive guy, but just to be just as aggressive as him and make a statement.
Absolutely, and I agree. Harlem said afterwards the fight was inconclusive and it finished in the middle of it. No one really got their game going. What did you make of that whole evening? And I guess it wasn't even disappointment, it was almost confusion. It was one of the more bizarre boxing matches that I've had the chance to watch.
Oh look, it was just a massive anti-climax. Can you imagine going into camp, doing a 10-12 week camp to train for something and it turning out like that? It's like, you wake up on the Sunday, you're like, what just happened? But that's sadly the sport we're in. That can happen. It's one against one. It's not like you can call on your sub in your position to take your place. It's just that happens, and it doesn't happen very often. And now Harlem just needs to take that, say, anger, frustration into this next fight and take it out on his opponent. His opponent will pose his own problems to Harlem because he's an aggressive guy coming over, and he's not coming over to lose. He's coming over with plans of his own, and Harlem needs to counteract that.
And in terms of that Jack Catterall fight, I mean, one of the things he was also saying, Harlem, was he felt like, obviously it's an away team versus home team situation. He's at home this time. But over there, he felt like there was a bias almost even on the commentary team. Would you agree with that?
I'll be honest, I haven't listened to the commentary and watched the fight back. I'll probably watch the head clash back, but that's it. But look, in boxing, you've got to be the away team sometimes, and you need to thrive on that. I'm a Tottenham supporter. We're doing better away than we are at home this season, so it's you need to take that in your stride. Look, box ticked, lesson learned. We move on to Friday night, and he needs to put in a good performance, and I think he will.
Absolutely, and I know that people don't like looking too far ahead. We've obviously got a fight and a serious contender here on Friday, but I would be interested to know, is there any names sort of in the hat that you guys are looking at? Because he does want to reach that world level. He really believes that he is world level. He wants to reach that.
Yeah, look, I've mentioned Lewis Crocker before. He's looking for a dance partner. We'd be up for that. We'd be the away fighter for that probably, because he sells very well in Ireland. So it's that's one we'd love, and it's a world title chance. But do they give us that chance? That Harlem is a dangerous opponent. So we are kind of coming in with our begging bowl, but it's up to him. He's the champ. But that's definitely one I'd like to see. Regis Prograis as well. Been bounded about that name. Obviously ex-world champion, massive name. But look, we're fully focused on Friday. We need to get his name back out there in a positive way, and just erase all memory of the Catterall fight.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And just one quickly on Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn II. I know that everyone said what was going on with Chris Eubank Jr. there. Everyone's trying to speculate. Do you have a sort of thing in your mind as to what happened there? Because we saw a shell of a man almost compared to that first fight.
I think father time, mother time, father time. Caught up with him a little bit. I'm not saying that he's that old, but I think he needed more time to recover. I personally would have waited until early next year for that fight, because the first fight was such a tough fight, and the older you get, the longer you need to recover. But I get it, there's a lot of money on the table, so it's hard to say no to that. But at the same time, it was disappointing to see him like that.
It was a shame. It was a shame, even for me as a Brighton boy. Do you think it's time to retire now? Or?
I can't answer that. I mean, again, I go back to the football analogy. How often does a footballer have an off night? It happens all the time. You sub someone in. Sadly, in boxing, it's mano a mano, right? You're not gonna. Oh wait, 1 minute. We have tried the tag teams in other in the Misfits, but obviously that's nothing to do with me. But it's what can you do, right? What can you say? I can't comment on how he feels. I would say a long holiday, no snap decisions, and then try and do a bit of training, see how you feel. I mean, he doesn't need to do it. He's having twin boys, and that's what he should be focused on.
And final prediction for Friday night.
I think the Harlem will do a conclusive job. It was going to be very tough in the first few rounds, and he's going to impress on Friday.
Perfect. Nisse, thank you very much, mate. Cheers.